let's just start off with here. What type of woman do you consider yourself? How do you show up in relationships? And we're going with the traditional modern
Mhm.
labels today.
Okay. You want to go first?
Okay, let me just say this. You guys said that this is a hot topic, right? Okay. Jeremy and I were having this conversation just randomly because we just talk how we talk. We were having this conversation the other day, and it got a little spicy. It got
spicy?
not like that, but like she was just very passionate about her views. I was very passionate about mine. My battery ended up dying, and when it died, I said, "Whew, okay, good, we got out of that one." I said, "Let me get to this baby's homework. I got to get back. I have to get back to my things." And so that just I said that to say, like, yes, this is a huge topic. This is a huge topic. But one of the things that I would encourage our friend group to do, and just women in general to do, is to cut down any form of competition within our community. I truly believe that in this season, and I posted it on Instagram, although I deleted my Instagram, that in this next season, the generals are female. Like, we are leading the charge. We saw that in such a tremendous way with the the Black Girl Bravado plus Spotify plus Unbothered Network photo shoot. And how you guys just showed up, and everybody just showed up in their power, in their creativity, in their talent, in their intellect. And there was no competition in the room. It's like we're just all going to feed this moment. We're all going to serve this moment. And you guys did that, like I said, in such a tremendous way, and served as such a huge example for all of us, for the community for our female community, especially our Black female community. Now, as far as how do I identify, the other day I said, I'm a modern woman with a traditional flair. And I thought I was somebody. You hear me? I thought I was somebody. I thought I was somebody when I said it. But I really love the definitions that you guys provided today, because it helped me to clearly identify where I stand. And she's a traditional woman. Listen, if this were some other time, I would be pregnant right now, barefoot, over that cast iron skillet. You hear me? My husband would be coming home, and his slippers would be at the door, and I would be preparing. Baby, all right, wait one second, sir. I'll be right with you, Dad. But that's just me, and I love it, and I love it. I love being a traditional woman. I love being a traditional woman. I love modern women. I love all the women's, but
You're traditional.
I'm
for you and your home.
For me in my home, I love it. I love it.
I love it. I love how you said that, because I was thinking, I feel like I'm traditional. I'm a hybrid, I guess.
Okay, what's a hybrid look like?
So I love home and family, but I also deeply care about career and my own goals. So, and not to say one is better than the other, I just don't think I would be completely fulfilled either way. Right?
Gotcha.
I want it all.
Yeah. She's in the midst.
I'm in the mix.
I like
of both.
that.
Yeah.
I like that, though.
But I think it also depends on who you ask. Like, if you were to talk to my grandma, she would describe me completely as modern, because back in the day, their traditional, I think, is different than our traditional. They're 200% committed to the home. Whereas if you were to talk to someone younger, I think they would define me as all the way traditional.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's very
generation plays a part.
It
as
does.
well.
But I could say, Kaila, I think just because I know you personally, and like you said, how much career and like goals are important to you, that I would say you are like very much so like a hybrid.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I don't
feel
want to
like
say,
that.
because I don't want anybody to feel like, well, just pick a side, or you're not
Right.
making a decision. It's like, that's truly how I feel. I feel like both.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. I think sometimes the labels make us, and we talked about this in our series, the labels that others place on us, and sometimes we place in ourselves, makes us feel like we have to be boxed in. Like, okay,
sure.
I've made a claim that I'm traditional, so I can only show up this way. And if I'm doing something else, then there's something wrong with that. But here, we're not doing that. We're not doing that today.
So, Adrienne, you said you love being a traditional woman, that you absolutely love it. What do you feel like is the most freeing part or the best part about being a traditional woman? And then we need the other side of it. What do you feel like is the most restrictive, if any? Maybe you don't feel like there's any restrictions.
Right.
The most freeing part of this particular dynamic is that I feel so empowered in my femininity and in my strength. I can show up like as my full self. One day I can be, I have an attitude, and I just have an attitude. The next day I can be, the next day I am praying over my kids and blessing my husband before he goes out, before he walks out of the door. And I can be, or I can be here doing this, right? Like I can be here doing this. So there is no part of who I am that is off limits. And so I really enjoy that. It almost feels like I have like the little kid that has like, I'm gonna go get my big sister. I'm gonna go get my big, bruh, listen.
And that's your husband.
That's my husband. Don't you worry. Let me go get him. Let me go get him. I'm not here alone. Let me go get my help. And I just feel like that in life. I feel so covered by him. I feel provided for. I feel loved and secured. And so it makes it, because of how he is and how he treats me and honors me, in the fullness of who I am, it makes it easy. It's easy to do this. As far as like restrictiveness, there's a lot of responsibility. Like there's a lot of responsibility. And it's not just, I was actually saying to him last night, I said, you have no idea, sir. You have no idea, like the privilege and the benefit that you have, that I got it. Right. He said, oh, I'm gonna go downstairs and get this stuff out of the car. And then an hour later, I'm looking, I'm like, where is he at? Well, he was in the garage cutting some wood. It was a project, not anything silly, but he was in the garage cutting some wood. And so he came up and he was like, what's up? And I'm like, you really don't understand. Yeah. You don't understand the privilege that you have. Well, I just thought, that, I just was going to get the stuff and I was going to come and I was going to cut. And I'm like, right. But it didn't even cross your mind, babe, that there was other stuff to go on. It didn't cross your mind. It was just, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get this stuff. You know what? While I'm here, I'm going to just cut the wood. Meanwhile, Judah is wanting macaroni and cheese. Right. Kingsley doesn't eat cheese, so she wants something completely different. I still have laundry in the wash. I still have other things to do. And so there's at times where it does feel like there is a cognitive, also emotional, spiritual load that is sometimes is heavy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's heavy, and sometimes I'm like, I also told him, I said, you don't understand too the privilege that it is to go drive yourself to work. And however long it takes you to get there, if you want to talk, you can talk to yourself. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. Right. You want to play music? Fine. You don't? Fine. But you have that time to just be by yourself.
It's yours.
And it's yours. Yep. You don't have to share with anybody. It's yours.
You don't have to think about the meals that have to be prepared.
No. And that's the privilege. Also being able to clock into work and clock out. Right. I'm done with this job. I'll see y'all back. No, there is none of that. Right. So I wouldn't necessarily call it restrictive. I wouldn't call it restrictive.
The contrast.
Challenges.
Contrast.
Yeah. Yeah. That there's challenges, sure. And it is a contrast. There is a contrast at times.
Yeah.
What about you, Kaila?
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I do work outside of the home, but as far as home life and the kids, I'm on the front lines. My husband has a job where, he's a principal of a high school, so very hands-on. He has to be there. Anything can happen. Emergency happens at the school. He's home late. And it's not a thought of, oh, well, who's picking the kids up? Or what are
Right.
we going to have for dinner? Well, who's going to do the homework? It's like, that's
Right.
on me. He's
Right.
able to handle his business and that be his sole thought.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'm working and all those million things are also going on in
Right.
my mind. So it's like, okay, clocking out of this job into my other job that I really never clock out of.
Right.
So as soon as I get off work, I'm headed to get the kids. I'm focusing on dinner. I'm doing homework, bath time, bedtime. Not to say that he never helps with any of that, but for the most part, it's me
It's
thinking
your
about it.
duty.
Right.
Right.
I would say the main challenges, it has restricted me from moving up in my work, I would say. And I don't want people to feel like, oh, if you have a family, you can't progress
Right.
career-wise, because we see people with families all the time in very high positions. I would say because I'm so hands-on, I've just made the decision not to take certain positions.
Right.
And I would even go as far as to say, I feel like certain opportunities have been held back from me because my job knows, like, oh, she has kids. That's probably gonna come
priority.
first. And
Yeah.
I can't show up the way that someone that doesn't have that responsibility can show up. So definitely pros and cons, or challenges, you can say, that come with it, that I know he doesn't experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sugar girlies.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
So we didn't did you say that you're a modern woman?
Girl, yes.
Of
I don't even
course.
feel like that gotta be said. Okay.
Right.
What's understood don't gotta be
You
explained.
know that.
You know I'm modern. Even in my house with no children. I'm
Listen.
like, hold on. nigga.
Listen.
I know. Okay, I consider myself a modern woman too, and I've just always considered myself this way. I think because the way that I was raised, like my mom is very modern. Even when she was married, she tries to tell me that she's dibbled and dabbled her toe in some traditional ways, and I'm like, mother,
She's always giving me modern.
period. It's always given big modern energy. I mean, she's always worked. We were very self-sufficient, which I think I know freed her from a lot of the cognitive responsibilities. Not to say that she didn't have to think about them, but I was cooking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was cooking.
You
The
were
meals.
hands-on.
The
Right, you
cognitive
know,
load was
yeah.
on me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I am honestly a little resistant to having that type of responsibility in my adult age. Like, I feel like I've made the conscious decision to be modern and operate as modern, even with the desire to be married. I, even through my dating experiences, have even become more affirmed in knowing that I need a husband who fully accepts my modernness, you know? Like, if you're looking for a traditional woman, stop looking at me because I'm just not that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not that. And it's caused some conflict, even in myself. Like I told you guys, I was talking with my therapist, and like some of the messaging that I'm hearing makes me feel like, well, am I going to find someone who is okay with me being modern, who's okay with me being super busy, who's okay with me being career driven? Like, is that going to be okay? And I know that it will be okay, but I'm just expressing with you guys like some of the feelings that I feel like having this experience and having the conversations. But I can say 100% that this is how I am genuinely, and this is really like how I've always been.
I would say, like your experience, Brittany, my mom is very modern. You already know how my mom
Yes.
is now. Never been traditional. She's been married 5 times. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Right.
That'll tell you everything you need to know. But I was raised very modern. I feel like I've always been very modern. And like I just shared, when I brushed up against a traditional nigga, I said, oh no, you want too much for me. You want too much for me. So I feel like I have to have a modern partner. Similar to you, Brittany. I have to have someone who understands equality is very important to me in a relationship. I need someone who can do everything that I can do. Because I want that. You know, I want that push and pull. The support, really. Like, I don't want to be the only person who's cooking. I don't want to be the only person who's cleaning. There's times I come home and Andres has cleaned everything and I'm like, thank you. Because I didn't want to figure it out.
Right.
Or he'll be like, I'll run to the grocery store for you. Or I don't have to necessarily cook. I cook because I need to eat. But he'll be like, I'll throw some mushrooms. He'll do what he knows how to do. And
throw
Yes.
some mushrooms.
that's his favorite meal. You want me to
Throw
cook
your
some
mushrooms,
mushrooms?
babe.
You
I
want to make
need
some
that.
tacos, mushrooms?
Yes.
So it makes me, it's what I need in a
Yeah,
relationship and a
for sure.
partnership is equality. I have a very need for an egalitarian style relationship where there's a lot of equality. Everybody does everything. There's no my role, your role. You go pull.
Let's
I
get
need
it done.
everybody pulling.
Mhm,
Right.
So because gender roles are not a thing in my household, not necessarily, my partner is very chivalrous. So I think out of just his natural innate quality of being chivalrous and want to be providing and caring for, he does certain things that are assigned to a male gender role, but it's not like necessary.